Helen here with Eyes on the Game, and I'm here at Xtreme Couture being joined by Danny D1 Davis Jr. Now, Danny, you just wrapped up a coaching session. Do you have any fighters fighting coming up?
We got Corey Conway. He's on the amateur team for us. He's fighting this evening at Tough Enough. We also got Bryce Harley and Keith Lee, who's Kevin Lee's younger brother. So I'll be there tonight helping the guys, in their corner and get them that victory.
So what's your favorite part about being a coach?
It helps me, reflect on my own technique and think about the moves and what's occurring in a fight situation. Letting me break down the details a little bit better. And even, I think when I'm coaching, it helps my own personal technique for when I fight, It keeps me in the gym. And, just breaking down fights and styles of what's going on currently in MMA. I feel like in the last year we saw an influx of a lot of new, karate techniques being applied, spinning kicks and things of that nature, side kicks and whatnot. So, coaching allows me to see what's going on, bring in some new styles or breaking down current styles that are effective and helping the other younger fighters around the gym, come up and succeed in the game.
What do you think about the title fight at UFC 205 between the welterweights, Tyron Woodley, current champion, and someone who comes from a karate background, Thompson?
That's a very interesting matchup in my eyes. They're both explosive and athletic. Obviously, Wonder Boy has the strikes from the different angles. Woodley's a little more of a powerhouse. He also has a good wrestling, so I'm curious to see if he tries to take Wonder Boy down. That's a hard one to call, I'm just hope to see a great fight. I think it's going to be a quick one, though, for some reason. I think it might end pretty in that first round.
Like that Lawler fight?
Yeah, yes.
And what about Eddie Alvarez, Conor McGregor?
When I first heard about the matchup, to be honest, I was going Alvarez all the way, just stylistically, However, when I saw them face off, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, I noticed McGregor was actually kind of bigger than Eddie. He's a lot taller, has some good size on him. So because of that size, I think it's going to be a good match. I could see Conor landing that left hand, If Eddie doesn't get him out of there in that first round, I could see Conor kind of taking the momentum,
Do you think Eddie will give Conor a bigger challenge than Nate did?
I think he proposes different threats. I think Eddie's definitely has a good wrestling background, and he strikes a lot. He likes to fight. He likes to kind of not I wouldn't say brawl, but that style where we're just going at it, he's technical with his punches, but he wants to fight. And I think in that aspect, he's going to bring a little bit more than Nate Diaz because Nate's a little bit longer, rangy fighter. He throws a lot of strikes too, but I think Eddie's going to get in his face, try to put him against the fence, try to take him down, show him all these different threats, and be more of a mixed martial artist fighting Conor McGregor.
When's your next fight, or when should we see you back in the ring?
I've been taking a little time off just to kind of work on some things myself, my mental game again, and developing some new stylistic trends for myself. But I just fought 3 times in 6 months, earlier this year. That's a lot. Errol's fighting pretty much every 2 weeks. So I've been chilling a little bit during the summer, and I'm looking to make a return back into the cage January 20th for World Series fight.
Who's your opponent? Do you know?
No opponent slated just yet. Okay. But, I throw out a few names, some guys I would like to rematch. Matthew Frinku, Abubakar Nurmagomedov, even in my last fight, Abu Aziatar, they were all close fights, So any one of those rematches would be lovely. I know I'll get that win and just keep it going from there.
You fought 3 times in 6 months, and I know it could also, be rough, for the body and the mind. How do you keep yourself, motivated?
I love the sport, I've been doing this for a while now. I love always training. I stay in the gym. I'm not one of those guys who put on 30, 40, 50 pounds after a fight, and then have to spend half their camp cutting down weight. I always stay pretty lean. I'm always active. So I think that's one attribute that helps me, stay motivated because I'm always in the gym training with people. And then when a teammate has a fight, you're training with them building up to their fight. So you get some of that energy, and you're like, okay, I can't wait until it's my turn again. So I see my name on the board. You know, here at Xtreme Couture, we have a board that lists all the fights. So I'm like, man, I want to see my name on that board again, you know? And, you know, fighting is something I really enjoy. You know, I'm pretty good at it. I haven't got no serious injuries, thankfully. And I feel as long as I continue to take care of my body, I can keep doing this for who knows how many more years.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Dan Henderson, right?
Oh, yeah, you know, Dan Henderson. And, you know, just the last few years, he's been really making those big checks, and he's still knocking guys out. Even the founder of our gym, Randy Couture, you know, he's fought a little bit older and did some great things. So I feel personally as a fighter that age is just a number, you know, and as long as you take care of your body, you're active, you can still do great things.
Yeah, definitely. And I do want to touch on how you mentioned with the weight cuts and doing it successfully. I know for the fights in Portland, there were a couple fighters that made or missed weight, John Lineker and Alvarez. What is the secret to kind of always maintaining, you know, a good weight and being able to make the weight?
I feel that, you know, not getting too heavy after the fight, you know, depending on what weight class you fight at, I feel a guy should never be more than 20, 25 pounds above their weighing limit, you know. So, like, I fight at 170, so I try to always stay about 190. You know, sometimes I get up to 195, but rarely do I. So I feel keeping your weight close to your weighing weight definitely helps to make the weight. And, you know, then after that, it's just being disciplined with your diet, you know, and your training and getting your runs in, doing the things you need to do to maintain that, keeping the weight down throughout fight camp. And, but, you know, there's always variables that occur. Sometimes guys get hurt in training camp and they can't train as efficiently, so they might put on a few more pounds throughout that camp when they need to be losing them, and that can affect their weight, you know. So, but, you know, some guys, they still want to fight, so they're going to do their best to make the weight. But, you know, occasionally things like that happen. Like, I just had a teammate, Clint Williams. He got injured and his weight was kind of high, so he actually felt it was best to pull out of the fight, which I agreed with him because he didn't want to try to kill himself cutting weight after taking 2 weeks off in training camp, you know. So right off the jump, just making sure you stay within 20 pounds of your weighing weight. Start losing the weight early within your camp, so you're not trying to cram it all in the last 30 days. And, you know, just be disciplined.
It seems simple, but it's kind of harder than it sounds, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, because fighting's, you know, mind, body, and soul, and sometimes when you're stressed throughout a training camp, you know, food's a great Band-Aid, you know, to fill that void. So
yeah, definitely. Ice cream for me.
Cookies for me.
Oh, hey, cookies and ice creams. Those Pazookies are amazing.
Oh yeah.
But also, I happen to notice on your social media that Ludacris just came by the gym, right?
Yeah, he was here about a week ago, last Saturday. About a week ago. No, but
you're a rapper too.
Yep. Yeah. So that was pretty cool to see him. He came in. He was a cool guy, you know. He was kind of under the radar. I think some of the members didn't realize who it was, and I actually had to do a double take myself. You know, it's the first time seeing him in person. He's a little shorter than what I imagined. But man, he was pretty cool. He was very welcoming. He took pictures with some members and some of the staff. Him and his guy, I guess, was a trainer. They got in the cage and started training a little bit, having some fun. He gave us some shout outs on social media. So man, he was a great guy, and I hope to meet him again.
How does he look in the cage, though?
He's developing some form, some technique still. You know, he seems like he got a good, strong right hand, but you know, he wasn't shuffling the best and a few wide punches, but I'm sure he's working on it.
Yeah. Did he mention that he would step in the cage anytime? Because a while back, or a little bit ago, I spoke to Ava Knight, who's helping train Joe Jonas, because he wants to fight in an amateur bout soon. So did Ludacris mention anything like that?
You know, he didn't mention anything directly, but I kind of made a joke like, man, come get that good work in so we can get you in there. And he kind of agreed, you know, so I'm not sure if that means he's trying to train for a fight, but, you know, he definitely wants to learn some things.
Speaking of him being a rapper, though, are you still rapping at all?
I am still rapping. You know, I still go to the studio a couple times a month, and right now I'm just stashing up some new good songs in my catalog. For me now, it's about the timing. You know, you know, I'm still very focused on fighting, and that's something you got to put your all into. music I've had for a long time, and I'm very good at that as well. But right now, just recording new material. Hopefully, my next fight will be aired on NBC again and NBC Sports, and I can release some new material around that time.
Would you ever like walk out to your own rap?
Oh, yes. I have actually in the past in smaller shows, but I walked out to my own music. It's pretty fun and exciting. Gets you pumped. I can rap as I'm walking out to kind of keep me relaxed and chilled and get into the zone.
Who's your favorite rapper right now?
Great question. My current favorite rapper. It might seem kind of mainstream and cliche, but when I sit and I listen to some of the lyrics, I really enjoy what Drake is writing. He's, and not just his girly songs, but his all his songs. Like if you really break down his lyrics, it's pretty clever what he's saying and the way he's putting metaphors together. So I will give it to him. He's probably my favorite rapper currently.
What's your favorite song by Drake? So many, right?
Oh, I know. I like the one he has a collabo with. I think it's either, not The Weeknd, the other guy, the other singer. Oh, what's his name?
He's collabs with so many.
Yeah, the one that's dating the Kardashian. Party Next Door. He has a song Party Next Door in Miami or something like that. That's actually one of my favorites.
I was like, Tyga?
It's called Preach.
Okay.
Preach. Young Preach. Preach. Yeah, that song I like.